Today we are looking at wrapping things up for the event, but again, the event is a representation of just us starting a number of relevant conversations based on us refocusing on the actual problem set. Students in probably high school, even high school to tertiary level. So the paradigm is there and the methods have been set. So the way that we adapt quickly is just to borrow from those models and adopt them as they have been working for as long as you can remember. Methods of instruction, methods of assessment, etc., everything that comes with it. We just need to speak to a university that does distance education programs, and then we adopt it in existing institutions that do that. But again, the completely new territory for us is, what do we do with the lower school students? How do we work on that particular completely unknown territory? A child's mind is a bit different than an adult's. Lower school students, I have two boys, one of them is 7. So his teacher uses Google Classroom as well as Zoom, but there's a high requirement of parent supervision for him because he's 7 years old. And that parent supervision puts a lot of responsibility on the parent to make sure that the student, follows along in the class, in the remote class, because it's all new to them as well. And then as well, go through the exercises and then make sure that, he does it in a timely fashion and so on. So now the parent becomes a teacher. But the added constraint is that not all parents have that availability, which is now a huge demand for students who are now benefiting from the distance delivery. The parents need to avail themselves. Connectivity, power, all of those things are now heavily dependent upon with this new paradigm, and they need to be reliable for the experience to be reliable. We can take a harder look at the ITS deployment, because it seems as though it may be something that will definitely fit that gap that exists in lower schools within our context of unreliable power, unreliable internet, and the fact that we have parents in the midst. But I'd really want us to take a hard look, because the more I think about this ITS, the Intelligent Tutoring System approach, the more it seems to fit the scenarios that we're talking about. It allows that feedback loop in terms of getting and assessing the current student's performance. And it can actually be deployed without any requirement on internet. So the requirement that it'll probably have is either a laptop or tablet, and all of the instruction, the content and everything can be just bundled into that. The student can use that to go through their lesson plans, interact with the ITS itself. The ITS assesses the student's performance, ensures that they understand before progressing them onward to more advanced lessons and so forth. And they can do that in their spare time, so they don't necessarily have to wait until 2 o'clock. They can continue to do that. If they want to keep working, they can keep working.
There are 2 individuals, Michael Sampson and Daniel Rocheville, who were researching on ways in which they can create a payments API for persons locally. And they did some research and they found some possible options, and I'll have them start the conversation off.
So when we were thinking about making a somewhat similar app to Cash App, we wanted to find a payment API, and we stumbled upon Stripe first. But the thing with Stripe is that it didn't support Guyana, right? So we ended up finding Mali and Douala. But then looking into Mali, we ended up finding out that Mali was more so like a e-commerce payment API, in a sense, and not allowing that peer-to-peer bank money transfer. So we ended up finding Douala. We saw that Douala was more so to our liking, and we started I tried signing up for it, but I couldn't get past the sign up page, because you had to get a registered business and to actually get an account with Douala. So I don't know as to whether it supports Guyana or not.
I have been a strong advocate for a interconnectivity of the likes of MMG, ACH, all under one integrated platform governed by the central bank.
So the idea is, if we can figure out a viable e-commerce approach, we can pair it with the online orders and home delivery and allow those merchants to still carry out business. And correct me if I'm wrong, you're looking at not just providing a configurable inventory of products, but allowing the art of fulfillment part of it to play out along with payment processing and home delivery. So the idea is you want to capitalize on the services that already exist, but you bring them onto the same platform. So delivery services, the platform taps into. The payment processing, the platform makes it as easy as Shopify to get your store online. Inventory management, similar Shopify model under the circumstances. Art of fulfillment, art of management, similar Shopify type model locally. The questions that we want to ask under data sharing and accessibility is, how do we ensure that ICTs meaningfully aggregate, expose, and exchange open data to support actionable decision making? So there are a lot of information systems that have been developed or will be developed for the COVID fight. And we need to make sure that we put in place provisions to collect and share data, since data is absolutely necessary for responding to problems intelligently through informed solutions. So we'll keep working consistently. We have a tremendous amount going just within the past 48 hours. And because of what I'm writing on is our outcome-oriented nature as technologists, our critical thinking perspectives, and those things are extremely valuable in terms of creating actual tangible change that we'd like to see. I mean, just look around. So we don't have to, and this is the thing about us, we realize that we're like grassroots professionals. So if something doesn't exist, we don't look towards systems to say, okay, well, we need this, otherwise we're inert. No, we just create it. We find a way. We topple the dominoes if necessary, and it happens. I know I'm speaking abstract, but you'll see what I'm talking about in time to come with what we're working on here.